Welcome to Eye on Northeast Kansas, the podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Bruner. This is where we recap some of those top interviews you heard from our guests on Eye on Northeast Kansas, the TV show. That show comes to you live Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock Central Time from our WIBW TV studios in Topeka, Kansas. We talked a lot of guests this week talking about meeting various needs in our community and also shedding a lot of light on just how much those needs have grown. Of course, it all starts with being able to find a job, and that's one thing that the KansasWorks programs around the state of Kansas do. They had a virtual job fair for state agencies over this past week, but our guest, Nancy McNeely, also filled us in on a lot of other resources that there are that you can access through KansasWorks, not just on its website, but also at the centers, the in-person centers you can find all across town. Here's our chat with Nancy. Welcome, Nancy. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is not the traditional in-person job fair where everybody sets up in a big room and you walk around. This is taking the virtual approach.
Yes.
So what is it like? How does it work?
So the virtual job fair is set up where the agency has an opportunity to meet employees, and the employees have an opportunity to meet a variety of agencies within the state of Kansas. So this is done virtually through the computers. They can schedule and have job interviews. They can talk about the job itself, see what they need, and make sure it's a match for them.
How many agencies are taking part, and what kind of variety of jobs and positions do they have open?
There are all kind of positions available. Right now, we have the virtual job fairs. They're done every month. We do a different virtual job fair with several different agencies throughout the state. And we have 10 agencies that are involved on this Wednesday's virtual job fair on the 27th. In that, we have approximately 200 people that are already registered for the job fair and ready to go. One of the things that we do offer at the Workforce Center is an opportunity to prepare for those job fairs. So they can go to KansasWorks.com and find out where their local workforce center is, and we can help them with different things to help them with their interview itself.
Any idea the range of jobs that are available in this coming one, and maybe the range of education for people who think, you know, a state of Kansas job, maybe I have to have a college degree in order for these to have these positions?
So for our positions with the state of Kansas, it can range from a high school diploma to a bachelor's degree to a master's degree, just a little bit of everything, something for everyone. It could be something with the KBI, it could be something with as a collection agent, all the way to a customer service representative. So it's a variety of things that are available.
So definitely something to check out. And you had mentioned that if you don't, is there any advice for preparing for a virtual job fair versus something in person?
I think if I had to give someone some advice on what they could do differently for virtual, one thing is I tell people, look in the mirror, talk to yourself in the mirror, have an interview for yourself in the mirror. But we also have in the workforce centers a tool called the Big Interview. And the Big Interview is something that you can sign into the system, into KansasWorks, and you can sign into the Big Interview, and you can actually do interviews with an AI system. And it will actually video you and talk about things that you're doing right or wrong if you blink too much or if you're playing with your hands or whatever you're doing. So it gives you tips.
Is that a free service?
It is.
Okay,
everything
that's
we
crazy.
offer.
I love it.
Yes.
Everything's free.
Everything in the Workforce Center is free. Everything that the Kansas Department of Commerce offers for our job seekers is free of charge.
Now, the things that are in the virtual job fair are going to be specifically state agency openings.
Yes.
What other sorts of jobs can you connect people with through the KansasWorks, through the workforce centers?
So with the workforce centers, it's a variety. So we have anywhere from the United States Postal Service to your local dollar store, you know, down the street. So it could be any type of job that you're looking for, you can find within KansasWorks.com. The great thing about the workforce centers and the virtual job fair is that they work together. So with the workforce centers, we will help you with everything that you need to do as far as getting your resume together, do mock interviews, we can do job planning, just anything that you need to help you prepare for your jobs.
How many different workforce centers are there across the state? In Topeka, I know there's one at about 14th and South Topeka Boulevard-ish. What other communities have workforce centers?
We have workforce centers in Junction City, in Leavenworth, in Wyandotte County, Johnson County, Leavenworth County, Garden City, all over the state of Kansas. But if you want to know, if you're looking to see where I can go to find a workforce center that's close to me, you can go to kansasworks.com/locate.
There you go.
And you can find that workforce center.
And the virtual job fair, once again, to remind you, is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. this Wednesday, the 27th. And right there at kansasworks.com, that's where you can find all of this information. Right at the top is the link to register for the virtual job fair. Hundreds of opportunities are out there. And as Nancy mentioned, also you can find a in-person workforce center near you. If in-person is kind of more how you like to function and do things, you've got something for everybody. Nancy, appreciate you being here.
And Melissa, we'd like to say Kansas works and so can you.
There you go. I love that. That's a great motto. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do love that motto. Remember, KansasWorks.com is where you can go to find not only the jobs, but also where those workforce centers are located across the state. I mentioned a lot of folks are feeling the impact of inflation that we've had and also struggles coming out of the pandemic and just everything that's going on with the economy. And so a lot of folks in the Topeka community and across Northeast Kansas are working to meet some of those needs. One of those is the focus of an event that's coming up Sunday, October 1st in Topeka. It is a benefit for the Doorstep organization. Lisa Cain came on Eye on Northeast Kansas, visited the studio to tell us about the event, but also really some jaw-dropping information about why the event is so important this year. What is the event, first of all?
This will be our 6th annual Neighbor Helping Neighbor Walk and 5K Fun Run.
6 years already for this.
Yes.
Goodness.
Yes.
And it's a 5K walk and fun run, so people, it's not competitive at all.
Nope.
What all happens during the day? It's happening on Sunday at Lake Shawnee. So what all happens?
It'll be this Sunday, Shelter House number 1, Lake Shawnee. The Chiefs are not playing until nighttime, so it's good to come out.
So it's good to go.
People can pre-register. They can come out that day and register. We'll have drinks and snacks and just fellowship, and we'll get started at 2 o'clock, and you can do the mile or you can do the 5K, and it's just it's a fun time.
Challenge yourself as much as you want.
That's right.
This all supports the work of Doorstep. For those who aren't familiar with what Doorstep does, what do you do?
So we do emergency assistance. So we have food and clothing, and then as funds are available, we have rent, utility assistance. We can help with prescriptions, a dental voucher, gas voucher, and bus tickets to get to work and medical appointments.
All of those basic things that we were just talking about with Amy when they go and see folks on the street. How much is the demand right now?
It's crazy.
Really?
Ever since the 1st of April, once the COVID money was gone on food stamps, we've doubled, sometimes tripled what we did last year. And it's just our food budget has been blown out of the water. We're getting more food tomorrow, so I've been working on getting my volunteers scheduled to get that picked up. And we just can't hardly keep up with the demand, and we'll probably spend $50,000 on food this year, just trying to keep our neighbors fed.
How much would you have typically spent in a typical year on food?
5, maybe 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an incredible difference, which is why you need people to come out and take part in this walk. And that's just the food piece of it. What is the demand for all of those other things that you mentioned?
It's so we did the story on when it was really hot about utility assistance and the calls and the
kind of a
submissions through our website.
We raised some awareness for you,
but it was crazy.
But it makes you see how great that need is.
Oh, well, we know how great it is. We just and you know, we have some funds. We're not going to have enough funds to help everybody, but we're still a small agency. So I know all the agencies are really feeling the pinch with food. I believe everybody's still helping every 30 days, whereas pre-COVID we did 60 days. So it's a real challenge.
Well, if folks would like to help out, and as we take a look at the great turnout and the great fun that you have at the walk every year, this is at Lake Shawnee on the west side of the lake. So kind of near the softball diamonds. If you know where the softball diamonds are, look for those signs and that'll point you. You'll see them all there outside shelter houses 1 and 2. 13's Chris Fisher, right there you saw in that photo. He is going to be emceeing the event on Sunday. And again, this is coming up on Sunday. If you would like to take part, it is a 1-mile walk or a 5K that you can jog or walk if you wish around Lake Shawnee. You can start checking in at 1 o'clock, and then the walk and run steps off at 2 p.m. The suggested donation for this is $30, and you are invited to raise additional funds as well if you feel so inclined. You can register in advance at doorsteptopeka.org, or you can register right there day of. Again, Sunday, this Sunday, October 1st. And you just got the shirts in, Lisa?
Just picked it up this afternoon.
It looks fantastic, nice and bright orange, so
Yes.
everyone will notice you and see everybody walking in unison.
That's right.
And doorsteptopeka.org, can folks just make a regular donation there as well, even if they don't want to come out Sunday?
Yes, they can.
And find
Yes, they
information
can.
on the organization. Okay.
Yeah.
Great work you do.
Thank
and
you.
it's just, it is mind-boggling to think about how much it is needed these days. And Doorstep's not alone. Kansas Children's Service League works with families across the state. And one thing they've noticed with some of those families is a basic need that they are struggling to meet for kids, and that is the need for diapers. They are launching a month-long diaper drive. Kristen Martinick, who works for a local bank and also is a volunteer with KCSL, joined us with KCSL's Jeremy Kindy to tell us about what they're seeing. Welcome to both of you. Good to have you along.
Thank you.
And the need that we're talking about, Kristen, is what?
Diapers, needing diapers for children. So really right now, what we're doing is a diaper drive that'll take place through the whole month of October. Local area businesses here in Topeka have volunteered their lobbies and their showrooms to be drop-off locations. And Harvesters has generously offered some of their boxes for us to use to collect the diapers in. So right now, a lot of families are feeling the pinch when they go to the grocery store, and they're choosing sometimes between putting protein on the table or putting diapers in the cart. So that's one thing that we're trying to help alleviate and collect these diapers for families in Kansas.
Why are diapers so important?
Really, it's a first step in having a healthy child. A lot of times we think of changing a diaper often just because of making sure that they're clean and don't smell like they're in a smelly diaper, but also prevention of diaper rashes. Diaper rashes can lead to infections, not just skin infections, but then just more and more infections down the road, which then leads to more burden on the financial end for families taking kids to doctors. So that's why fulfilling that diaper need for families is so important.
Jeremy, what types of programs and services does KCSL offer for families, and where does this need fit into the types of families you're working with many times?
Yeah, so we do a lot of home visitation programs. So we have case managers who are meeting with families who have young children, typically between 0 and 5, and they're trying to meet those needs for those families. And so we're going into the home and having that conversation. The diapers fit into this because it's a basic need that sometimes they don't have the dollars to make ends meet in that process. And so this is an opportunity to provide an in-kind that they can then utilize as they move forward in the family process.
What's kind of interesting sometimes too is when we hear about diaper need in communities is kind of the trickle down and how it goes into many other things. So from KCSL's perspective, sometimes part of keeping a family together is an employment issue. And in order to be employed, a family needs childcare. In order to take the child to child care, they need disposable diapers, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Yeah, most families, every daycare that my children have used growing up, we had to provide our own diapers, and you had to have a stockpile of diapers in the classroom. If you were getting low, they really wanted those diapers, and it's like, oh, you've got 10, can't you, give me a minute? So it's just really, it's such a need for families that when you don't have diapers or when you need diapers at multiple locations, it's really tough. And so that's one thing where I like to be able to, if you've got time, talent, and treasure and can help families in any kind of way, this is just a way that anybody who has a few extra bucks can buy a pack of diapers and drop at any location here in Topeka.
Do you have a plan? Yeah,
Sorry?
I was going to ask, is there a plan worked out for how then you would get the diapers to the families, Jeremy?
Yeah, so we'll pick those diapers up. Kristen and some of the volunteers will get those into our office, and then we'll get those dispersed through our managers that are seeing these families. And again, we're taking all sizes, and so the real trick is that we need to make sure that the diaper sizes meet the family needs that were in that process. And so our home visitors will work to then make sure that they're getting those diapers as they need. And some of those may be in storage for a little bit, and they may need those in December, or they may need them at another point. So we hope to be able to provide those over a period of time as well.
Kids go through diapers quickly.
They do,
They go through
absolutely.
a lot of them. You had started to say, Kristen, where are the locations that people can bring the diapers to?
Yes, we've had multiple local Topeka businesses very generously open their doors for us as drop-off locations here in Topeka, and I wrote them down because I didn't want to forget anybody.
We can put some on the screen too. I believe I've got them all that we can put on the screen for you.
Yeah, we've got Village North Styling in North Topeka on North Topeka Boulevard, Landmark National Bank at 6th and Wanamaker, any Core First Bank and Trust location, the T-Box in downtown on Kansas Avenue, Sports Center, which is on 10th Street just west of Wanamaker, Carpet One by 29th and Fairlawn, and Martinick and Flynn, their showroom is by the corner of 21st and Kansas Avenue.
And I'll put the addresses for all of those places on WIBW.com as well. Basically, anywhere you go around Topeka, anytime during the month of October, you will have a place to drop off diapers. And as you mentioned, Jeremy, it's not just the littles that we're looking for, all the way up to 4 or 5 sometimes.
3, 4, yeah, whatever we need sort of in that spot. So we need diapers from sort of those newborns all the way up to 4 years old. And so hopefully, just making sure that they have the things that they need. And some of these families have multiple kids too.
Yeah.
So they need diapers across multiple ages too, some of them.
Well, it's a big need and glad to see you doing it. If you can contribute financially, kcsl.org is an easy way to do that too. Kristen, Jeremy, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
So that diaper drive is going on all throughout the month of October. Valeo Behavioral Health also is working to meet the needs of those that it serves. They are doing a Fill the Van event. It's actually Saturday, September 30th, so it may have ended by the time you hear this. However, I want you to hear about the work of their outreach teams and how they work with other organizations in the community and what they are seeing right now as well. Amy Kopp-Hasty with Valeo Behavioral Health is here to explain what you have going on. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on today, Melissa. It's always so nice to be here with you.
We always love to see you. This is for Valeo's Hope Team. Who is the Hope Team? What do they do?
Well, actually, the Hope Team is the team at Valeo that does outreach. And so you never see their cars in the parking lot because they're always meeting our clients where they are. So that could be under a bridge, that could be in one of the tent cities, that could be in a building with no electricity that they're having to live in, that could be in their car, in their van. I mean, you just don't know where you're going to find people, and this is the job of the Hope Team.
And what kind of things are they doing for that outreach?
Well, actually, the things that they do is they try to first build a relationship. This population of folks tend to be untrusting of others. They have a lot of trauma that they're dealing with in their lives, and just certainly being in the current circumstances that they're in is traumatic enough. And so our team tries to build relationships and then get them into services, refer them into Valeo for services. So whether it be medication management, case management, and then to provide them with necessities to help them get through this transition of where they're currently living. So that could be a city ID, helping them get their driver's license, things of that nature.
And it's in a couple of points there that none of this work happens in a vacuum. So
Right.
I imagine there are some partnerships here, because the other side of that is not everyone you encounter has a mental illness or an addiction struggle that they're encountering. So as you're doing this outreach, I imagine you're working with others to say, okay, here's what we can do as a behavioral health organization. And then what are some of the things that are the other organizations you're working with to meet those needs?
Well, actually, Valeo, our team, actually really does focus on those who do have a mental illness. So we do work in partnership with the police department and with the Topeka Rescue Mission. And as a group, we kind of identify which team is better suited to deal with the needs of each individual. And so Valeo's Hope Team really does focus on those who are unsheltered, living in a situation that's precarious, and those who do have a mental illness or a substance abuse issue, or both.
All of you need to have supplies when you
Yes,
go out there, because
yes.
I mean, anyone can think back to that whole Maslow's hierarchy of
Yes.
needs, and at the very bottom there is food
Yes.
and drink.
Yes.
So what's happening on Saturday to help your team be stocked up when they encounter folks?
Right. So we're doing a Fill the Van. We don't have a bus, but we have a van.
You have a
So
van.
we're doing a Fill the Van event. And that's going to be at Hy-Vee from 9 to 4 on Saturday. And we'll be asking the shoppers there to buy a few extra things when they go through the line and donate them back to Valeo, so we can actually use those as a tool to interact with folks. It's a lot easier to strike up a conversation with someone if you have a bottle of water to give, and these people are in, you know, very desperate situations. And so ramen noodles, granola bars, powdered milk, powdered eggs, things of that nature, and water, always very, very helpful for our team to carry with us to be able to give out to those folks.
And it's super easy. We do have the list that you can take a look at what you would need at the Fill the Van event. So if you're going to be at Hy-Vee anyway doing your Saturday morning grocery shopping, just throw a few things in your cart. If you have them in your cupboard and want to just hop on by and drop them off, they will be there 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday at the Hy-Vee in Topeka. That location, 29th and Wanamaker, if you're unfamiliar. If perhaps you don't want to go shopping, but you'd want to support the cause, go to valeotopeka.org, and that is where you will find the link for donations. And of course, you'd love to bring an extra van out, I'm sure. And
Oh,
fill more than one van.
absolutely. Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic? And I love your idea of going through your cupboards and just coming on over and dropping those things off too. That's a great idea.
People
Thank you
sometimes
for
have
that.
some extras, and you know, maybe you don't want to go shopping,
Yes.
but you just want to swing through the parking lot. You will be there. Amy, it's great
Yes,
work you all are
thank
doing.
you.
Appreciate you coming in and letting us know how we can support Valeo in that effort. So you can check out Valeo Behavioral Health anytime and find out they also are part of the Mobile Access Partnership that goes around with the Topeka Rescue Mission Ministries, and several organizations are involved in that effort to meet the needs of those who are unsheltered. I wrap up today with a very important story. Now, the dedication itself happened earlier this week. This is in the North Topeka Arts District. They have a new mural there, and it tells the story of the three sisters of the Kaw. When they dedicated the mural this week, they also had a very significant event take place, and it had to do with a small piece of property that is owned by Evergy, the state's major utility provider. They owned a small piece of property at the Veterans Park in Noto where this mural was created. It was kind of a mural / sculpture. And Evergy actually gave this piece of land back to the Kaw Nation. It's not something that happens very often, a gift of this sort. And I want you to hear from Lisa Baker. She is the owner of 785 Arts. She's also a member of the Cherokee Nation and has been very active in various events that have been taking place around Topeka and Shawnee County over this past month or so that really tell the story of those who called Shawnee County home, were the very first ones to do so. So Lisa visited with Stacy Dawn Ogle of Noto and told us the story of the three sisters and the significance of the presentation that happened this week. I'm excited for this tomorrow. It sounds super cool.
Oh, it's going to be great.
And the best part about it, well, I guess one of the, not the best, because there are so many good parts about it. The centerpiece, Lisa, is this mural.
Yes.
The three sisters of the Kaw, or the three Kaw sisters.
We're calling it Three Sisters of Noto, but it is in honor of three Kaw sisters. The Gonville sisters were Kaw, and they married three brothers, Papan brothers. Some people say Papin. And they were the owners of the Kaw allotments, which make up North Topeka. And so this is in honor of them. They're called the Three Sisters because there is a story in almost every tribe there is in the United States about the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash, that grew together, supported each other, and supported us nutritionally. And so it kind of was a good analogy of the three sisters who brought support and nutrition to Noto.
And we have some pictures of it because it is beautiful. It's there. It's waiting to be dedicated tomorrow. Stacy, how does this tie into Noto's mission and history, telling a story like the Three Sisters?
Well, you know, Lisa has done a great job of educating our community about the importance of the Native American culture and the rich history and how it ties to Topeka. So, I mean, what a great way to be able to nurture us through that process than using arts and arts programming to help guide us along that way. So this meets our mission in so many ways because it's so important to be able to cultivate those kinds of changes and utilize art as a way to enhance the quality of life in Topeka. It makes perfect sense for us.
And I like, Lisa, the bright colors, for one thing, in this mural, but then also is one of them representative of each of the sisters of the crops?
Yeah, and they're not designated as any particular one, but the colors are also, you'll see at the base there's 4 different colors, and those are the 4 colors of the sacred medicine wheel that go with the directions. When you see this mural / sculpture, it looks like it's sitting crooked in the space, but it's actually facing the cardinal directions.
Aha. Now there's a second important event that's taking place along with the mural dedication tomorrow. Tell us about it. What exactly is taking place and why is it so important?
It is a very historic and precedent-setting event. It's a movement that's been going on in the United States for the last maybe 10 years of trying to get land back to Native tribes, to land that's been abandoned or land that's not being used or land that could be used better by Native tribes. So there was a piece of land in this park where this mural is that was not being used by Evergy, and Evergy has agreed and kindly offered to give that land back to the Kaw Nation. So that will be celebrated in the event tomorrow as well.
This is Veterans Park in Noto, a section there, and this ceremony will take place tomorrow. Is it a large piece of land, and even if it's not large, and even if it's not something where you're talking the tribe's going to be able to do something huge there,
right.
Still, why symbolically is this important?
It's mainly important, I would say, because tribes had such a huge homeland that was slowly chiseled away until they themselves chiseled away and forced to be moved somewhere else. But homeland to a tribe is like your mother or your grandmother, you know. So to retain even that one little picture of your grandmother, we know how important that is. That's what getting back this piece of land is like for a tribe. It's getting that one little picture back of your grandmother.
It's kind of an acknowledgement of what happened, an acknowledgement of the past.
It's an acknowledgement, and it's more than an acknowledgement. It's actually doing something, not just saying, hey, yeah, sorry, but actually saying a reciprocating event this will be too, because the chairman, chief of the Kaw Nation will be present tomorrow to accept this.
And we were on hand for the ceremony and dedication. You can see that video on WIBW.com. In fact, you can find the video from all of our Ion Northeast Kansas guests as well on WIBW.com. I also post them on my Facebook page, which is WIBW Melissa Bruner. And you will find all of them, the entire stream of them going back to who knows when on our YouTube channel. Just search WIBW 13 News on YouTube. Click subscribe while you are there. And you can find all the great folks that we have in our studios on Ion Northeast Kansas. Glad you could take a little bit of time to listen on in with us. We'll see you on the red couch.